This is the first stop in our 2023 winter trip, Memphis, Tennessee.
Elvis, Martin Luther King Jr., Beale Street, and the Walking Bridge. The last time we were in Tennessee, we stayed in Nashville and talked about how we'd like to go to Memphis to see Graceland, Elvis's home. But it was a 3 to 4 hour drive away, and we didn't have time in our schedule.
This time, we booked in 3 days at T.O. Fuller State Park, and we used that as our home base. This is a smaller campground, and we basically just used it as a home while we went out exploring the city each day. It was only about 15 or 20 minutes to drive from the state park to downtown Memphis.
We started off with Beale Street in downtown Memphis, the heart of entertainment in the city.
In the 1860s, many traveling musicians performed on Beale Street. Over the years, it became a hub for musicians to gather, perform, and discuss their passion for the blues. Early in the 1900s, it was filled with clubs, restaurants, theaters, and other shops, many owned by African Americans. It became and still is the place to go for good music, food, and fun.
Louis Armstrong, Muddy Waters, and B.B. King are just a couple of the famous musicians who played on Beale Street and helped influence the birth of the blues.
The next day, we were off to Graceland. We found the tickets to be a bit pricey at $77 per person, and more if you wanted the bigger access ticket. We started out in the gift shop while we awaited our 10:45 a.m. video.
Elvis store, all the little memorabilia.
Then take a bus across the street to Graceland. Although small in comparison to modern mansions, it was a good size for the day. As it was decorated back in Elvis's day, you can see the influences of the times with the colors and styles.
Don't be cruel. But you know I can be found sitting home all alone. If you can't come around, at least please telephone. Don't be cruel. Your heart is true. Baby, if I made you mad, something I might have said, please don't forget my hand.
There was even a racquetball court in the back, as Elvis took a shine to the sport.
He and his family are buried in the Serenity Garden next to the pool. Sadly, just a few weeks after we were here, Lisa Marie Presley passed away at 54. She will join her father in his family plot.
Not only did the ticket include the Graceland home tour, but there are a series of buildings housing Elvis's cars, both from movies and ones that he tooled around in himself over the years.
Why should we be apart? I really love you, baby, first. Let's walk up to the preacher and let's say I do.
One of the magnificent displays that stands out in my mind was of all his jumpsuits, multiple levels high and in all their glitz and glamour, bedazzled with sequins and rhinestones and embroidery. It was really quite impressive.
That was a big room.
Huge.
One section was dedicated to Lisa Marie and told about growing up as Elvis's daughter and about her own delve into a musical career. Lastly, we toured the 2 private jets that were moved to the property to add to the museum. Jets complete with bed and a bathroom with golden faucets. Talk about traveling in luxury.
Day 3 brought us to the Civil Rights Museum and the Lorraine Motel, the location of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. There was a solemn feel in the air as one stood below the balcony where such a great and influential man was gunned down. The motel closed shortly after his death, and a monument and wreath were put there to mark the location.
The museum itself is attached to the motel, and the room where Dr. King stayed that day is still in its original form, so tourists like us can walk right up to the plexiglass divider and look in.
The museum walks you through many monumental events throughout the years that changed history.
From the beginning of slavery, the oppression faced by people of color through the years, stories of those who lived it. And stories of those who helped instigate change, such as the Montgomery bus boycott,
Rosa Parks bus protest,
the Rock Hill 9,
the Memphis sanitation workers' I Am a Man march, and much more.
an emotional, moving journey through the continuing fight for civil rights. This was a great afternoon of learning.
After the Civil Rights Museum, we parked down by the Mississippi River and took a walk at what they call the Big River Crossing, which took us across the Mississippi River from Tennessee to Arkansas.
And then across there's another bridge and a pyramid. What the heck's that pyramid all about? And you can see the city.
I think we're gonna
That is Memphis. Downtown Memphis.
As the sun crept lower to the horizon, we watched as tendrils and clouds of steam formed over the waters of the Mississippi as barges rumbled past, intent on getting to their next destination.
There's Mike. Should I push him in? Maybe. Sun is going down behind the bridge. And we just walked across there, so that's the bridge that we just walked across. Over there is Arkansas, and over here is Tennessee.
This was New Year's Eve, so we topped off the night with a great dinner at a Mexican restaurant, and then back to camp, where we watched New Year's celebrations on TV in our cozy rolling home. Cozy.
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 We are so glad we had the chance to spend a few days in this town that was so rich in history and charm.
Until next time, we look forward to seeing you on the road.
See you on the road.
Check out some of our other videos and subscribe to our channel.
New content will be posted weekly.